Well, as far as the Transformers movie go, this is certainly one of the better ones, which I get is not a high bar, but seriously, this movie was really fun. Now, for those wondering where this falls in the timeline, it is somewhat a sequel to Bumblebee, though not directly. There's very little connection to it. The only hint that it is connected to the Bumblebee movie is that there's a throwaway line that confirms that, yes, the Bumblebee movie is still canon. This takes place just a few years afterward in the 1990s. And just like the Bumblebee movie, it feels very much like a film from that time period because Bumblebee took place in the 80s. They did a very good job of making it feel like it's set in the 80s. Same thing with this, set in the 90s, the music choices, everything like that. Very good job of doing that. And it's also very clearly trying to separate from and apologize for the Michael Bay films, because there's a few jokes in this that are sort of meta-humor that calls out some of the more problematic aspects of the Bay films, mainly the infamously racist caricatures. Like, there's a line, I'm not going to spoil the joke, but there's a line that kind of points out how some of the Autobots were sort of racist caricatures in the other movies, and I thought that line was actually pretty funny, so... But I don't know why they thought Pete Davidson would be a good choice for this movie, because personally, I find him an annoying, unfunny, talentless hack. So, the main Autobot, because we have to listen to his voice for this entire movie, the main Autobot definitely should have been replaced with someone with a bit more charisma and charm, someone a lot more likable. But really, he's the only bad performance in this movie. All the other voice actors I thought did a very good job. There's some really cool character designs, the villain is very menacing. Now, on a plot level, surprise, surprise, it's a Transformers movie, so the plot level is a bit clunky. And at times it can feel like it's trying to do too much at once, and it doesn't really pick up momentum until about the second half, so the first half I think probably could have been paced a little bit better. But on the upside, the human characters in this one, they're actually easy to care about, and they do give some pretty good performances, unlike the Bay films. And the action in this is the best in the franchise. It doesn't feel overindulgent. It doesn't feel overly explosive. It holds back just enough to deliver the right amount. It's not, overly saturated. It's good. It's a good amount of action. It doesn't go way over the top with it to the point where it gets super ridiculous. However, it also feels a little bit derivative of the MCU. And there are a few directions that they take some of the characters that I thought were kind of shoehorned in and kind of silly. It was just kind of their way of sort of Deus Ex Machina and a lot of it. But I mean, all the Transformers movies kind of do that to some degree. And speaking of the MCU, what this movie is trying to set up at the end, I won't spoil it, but I really hope they follow through with it. Because it's teasing something that I really hope, with my little nerd heart, happens. Because if they do it right, it has the potential to be one of the greatest geek movies ever. So, go see this movie, just for the sake of having it continue and following through with what they're setting up. It's going to blow your mind when you see it, trust me. So I thought this was fun. I wish the plot had been a bit more coherent, though, because the Bumblebee movie proved they can make these movies with coherent plots. So I wish they had made a few more passes on the script, maybe even the first half a little bit more coherent. But overall, I still thought it was pretty fun. So for me, Transformers Rise of the Beast gets a B, 8 out of 10, and a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which for this franchise is practically cinematic gold.